Hello awesome people of YouTube, welcome back to another game of Starcraft 2. This is going to be Ukraine versus Norway. We are still currently on the Nation Wars number 3, which concluded in early January. This is going to be DIMAGA representing the Ukraine. He is currently on Team Monolith. Well, Monolith Team is how they're calling themselves. And as I said, from Korea. For Norway we have Eiki, who is part of Team Red Bloods. I'm not quite sure if this dude is professional, but he is listed on the Team Liquid website, so I'm going to assume that he is. Although Red Blood's not a very common name, I'm not quite sure who they are. But anyways, continue on with this game. It is a Zerg versus Protoss. And we're going to see how this develops. I really like the Zerg versus Protoss matchup. It's very interesting. I like to see the rushes and how the main thing is I like to see how Zerg deals with Protoss, because Zerg is something that I feel is so underpowered in ground forces compared to Protoss. Not so much because the Zerglings or whatever, but because Immortals and Stalkers are just unstoppable in my eyes. They're just so difficult to deal with. So let's see how we have here. It does look like DIMAGA does opt to go for a double expansion at the very beginning, and he has a bit of an oversaturation here. And he's probably just going to use that for gas and spawning pool. Anytime now. Gas? No? Doesn't look like he's interested in the gas as of yet. Might get it a little bit later. Which actually is quite standard. A lot of players don't get that gas early on. Looks like a cybernetics core going down, and there's actually a double gas, so I wonder if he's going to go for some sort of tech play right now. I am very inclined to think that he might get a Stargate or a robotics facility straight away. He's gonna get something. He is stockpiling minerals and gas. So he could very well go for that Stargate very, very early. And looks like the second Nexus has now completed. What is he gonna be building? Nothing right now. It seems like he's not interested in building anything at this particular moment. The hatcheries have now completed for DIMAGA, so that's going to be something to note. He's going to start very quickly saturating those out. As you can see, there are a few Zerglings being made as well, 8 in total. And to be honest, that's actually quite a high number of Zerglings to make at the very beginning, even against Protoss. There is no metabolic boost, simply because he doesn't actually have any gas. So this is going to be an interesting one. If there's going to be an Adept, if played really, really well, he can kill off all of these Zerglings, but of course he has to really get lucky with how he's playing. Does take out one drone, needs to get off that creep, get away from these Zerglings. Now I'm not sure, I do believe that the Zerglings are a little bit faster, so 3.5 compared to 4.13, they are indeed faster. But of course, unless he gets away here with the shade, does take out one Zergling. And he doesn't get killed actually, he is back in the main base, as you can see here. Does get sniped straight away by the Queen, so the Queen doing her job, her duty to defend the hatchery. And Zealot remaining here with 3 kills. It's like, yep, I got this. Cleaning up. And looks like Eiki also going for a 3rd base. This is actually a little bit risky. If there was some sort of roach timing push coming out here from DIMAGA, this would have really went against him to have a 3rd base out so early. So metabolic boost is on the way. There's a forge on the way, and a Twilight Council also. So potentially going to see some Blink Stalkers, or of course he might go for, yeah, he does get the resonating glaives, which is fine. The one thing I don't quite understand right now is he only has one gateway. One gateway does not give him enough production capability to hold off against the Zerg. Not at all. And I wonder what he's going to continue off with this. There we go. Robotics facility does come down. 4 minutes 30 is actually very late for a second production facility. I think that if he had any sort of aggression going out from the Zerg at this point, he would have already lost the game. Just personal opinion. If you agree, of course, let me know. If you disagree, let me know why. Now DIMAGA opting to go for a 4th base, so the amount of macro being made by these two players right now is quite insane. As you can see also, there has been a 5th and 6th gas taken by DIMAGA. I wonder, is he going to go for Mutalisks? He has a layer about to complete, so honestly I do think he will go for those Mutalisks. Spire? Spire? No, no spire. There it is. Spire is down. Where is it? It is actually right here in the lower expansion. Now, I do believe that that has not been seen. No, it has not indeed. So, okay, there we go. Now he's starting to build his production facilities. As you can see, there is 4 gateways here. 3 more being made here. So now he's going to have a lot of production capability. The one problem that he has is he does not have a large army at the moment. The Zerg is out-macroing him right now and also has a fort base being saturated very, very quickly. 2 more gases have been thrown down, so he will be able to produce quite a lot of mulisks with just 6 gas. Okay, restart. With just 6 Vespene geysers, he can actually get up 1,000 minerals before the spire completes. So as you can see, he already has that 1,000, and that's because he started off with about 150 already. And at this point, Eiki will be aware of this. It's going to be interesting to see what he continues to do here. It does look like he's making 12 mutilisks in total. And apologies for the pause there. I was getting a bit distracted by some dude doing a U-turn where he shouldn't be doing a U-turn. Not very smart. And of course I live next to the road because that's just the way things are sometimes. So this pretty large army now from Eiki moving into the Zerg base does block off here. He sees that there could potentially be a base here. Is moving off. Did he actually see it previously? No, he did not. So now he is going to catch it. I'm not sure why these Zerglings are moving in here in such a way that they are giving away the position of the base. There's a lot of mutilisks here. I'm not sure if he has enough to clean this Protoss army up. There's quite a lot of units here. And I do think if he continues this, he might end up losing this straight out. DIMAGA. Relax a little bit. You need to reinforce your army. And it does look like the mutilisks are now starting to dwindle down. I think he needs to move on away, reinforce his army, and then attack as one big group. Stalkers very difficult to deal with, particularly for Zerglings. And if you notice here, there's actually double Stargate coming out. I think this might indicate that we're going to have Phoenixes. One is being created. Is the other one going to be used for Phoenixes as well? He might as well do it. As you can see, there is level 2 ground weapons about to be completed. This hatchery has already been destroyed. And it looks like he is cleaning up this all together. DIMAGA has decided to go for another base on the other side. That is going to reinforce his economy once it's up. And these Vespene geysers have actually been left intact. And because of course they are Vespene geysers, they don't take damage when off creep. They are one of the only buildings that don't. There we go, a lot of damage going on here. The Zerglings did manage to surround the Stalkers, but of course the Blink Micro does get them to safety. Now just to note, there's more and more mutilisks and only Zerglings being produced for DIMAGA. I'm not quite sure why he hasn't opted to go for Lurkers or Hydralisks or even Roaches. This is quite dangerous to continue on like this. Now he's trying to snipe out as many units as possible. I think he's losing a little bit too much though at the same time. And there we go, the Phoenixes are now up. This is going to be very difficult to deal with as a mutalisk army. Phoenixes are faster, they shoot further, and of course they're good against light units. So what he has to do is exactly what he's doing right now. Group up his mutalisks and then run away, and as soon as you think that the opponent is not paying attention, turn them straight around and try to one-shot one of the Phoenixes. It's the most effective way to kill them, otherwise the Phoenixes can actually kite all day long. Okay, so Mutalisk and Zergling army again moving out. This hatchery has been put up again. And I assume he's not going to be aware of it. No, he's not. He's trying to expand himself. So a nexus coming down here. This is actually the third nexus that he's expanding with. So the fourth basin overall. This will put him in quite a commanding position against DIMAGA. If he manages to get this up and saturate it, he will be in a very, very strong position. Right now, DIMAGA is about to have his fourth base or fifth base complete. If he gets that up, he will have quite a lot more resources. And at that, a lot more production capability as well. As you might have seen, there were lurkers and hydralisks being produced as well. So this is quite good for DIMAGA. He will be able to finally fight those stalkers. Now this is a full-on light army. He does not appear to want to take on stalkers with roaches at all. Not quite sure why he's not fond of roaches. They're actually really strong. And as you can see, the full-on engage here. Hydralisk also in the back, nuking away at this Phoenix army. I do think that that Eiki is actually coming out on top here. There's only Zerglings being streamed here from DIMAGA. I'm not quite sure what the purpose of that is. As you can see, a lot of damage still going out from these lurkers. And there is an observer here, so if he manages to snipe that observer, not going to be that much that Eiki can do about it. There we go. These phoenixes now getting cleaned up very quickly, but the blink stalkers do jump in. The reinforcements streaming in bit by bit. I do think this is a mistake from DIMAGA. You need to back off. You need to build a bit heavier units. He needs to get more roaches out as well. He doesn't have to. I wonder, does he even have a roach warren? He actually does not even have it. So I think this is the incorrect approach. This base is going to again get taken out very quickly here. The blink stalkers gotta be able to kill that very quick. Now this base also under a bit of attack. Lost a total of 15 workers already. There's just one adept here getting attacked, but is actually managing to kill this off. So he did pull off his units a little bit too early. And as you can see, this was actually a drop here as well. War Prism gets taken out, not paying attention to it. And finally, this base has been restored. So at this point, we're looking at a 4-base Zerg versus a 3-base Protoss, which is just about even. This is where you want to be as both players. Well, correction. As the Protoss, of course, you want to even out the bases. As the Zerg, you want to be at least 1 base ahead. So let's see how this continues. Now more Hydralisks and Lurkers are being made. By the way, muscular augments increase the attack range and movement speed of Hydralisks. One very nice upgrade to get. And all of these Zerglings streaming all on the way down here. I do think they're not going to get much done here. They'll need to move on back. Pulling off a few Zerglings there. There we go, this Adept taking care of these extractors, which were just standing there, not dying. It looks like all of these Zerglings just getting absolutely slaughtered. I think that DIMAGA right now, he's very anti-roach from what I can see in this game. And honestly, I don't know why this is. I haven't seen any DIMAGA games since probably about Wings of Liberty, to be honest. So it is a bit strange to see him here, but at the same time, I really don't understand what is his obsession with Hydralisk and Zerglings. No roaches whatsoever. I do think that roaches are actually one of the strongest units in Legacy of the Void right now. And it's going to be interesting to see, will he decide to get them eventually. He does appear to be getting more Hydralisk and Lurkers only. Now there is a disruptor on the way from Eiki, which is actually quite important. Disruptors are very good against clumped up units that have less than 145 health, which is actually just about everything for the Zerg. There's a drop here also. 4 adepts inside this. We'll probably drop this inside the main base and then possibly warp in a few more. Now, I do believe that this got spotted. Oh yeah, there was actually an overlord here, so he's definitely aware of it. Bringing his units back into the main base. Gonna be able to intercept this very quickly. And there we go. Actually, Eiki wasn't really paying attention when he dropped those off. There we go. Warded away. I'm not gonna be able to do much with that drop for now. These Phoenixes very quickly picking up a few Hydras, taking them out. Unless you got a big Hydras army, there's not that much you can do against this. I think that if he plans on continuing with Hydralisk Zergling, he really needs to get those upgrades up. Now, it does manage to snipe a few Phoenixes here, so this is going to start playing to his advantage a little bit. But at the same time, there's 2 disruptors here. There could be huge Novas here. One goes out. Takes out a lurker only with it, so that's quite lucky for DIMAGA here, not getting caught by those. And an overcharge going down here. There's a few cannons also. Let's see how much damage this Hydralisk army can do. For some reason, Eiki is deciding to back off from this. A lot of damage going down here onto the Nexus. Very, very slowly dropping though, however. It seems like the upgrades are a little bit lacking for DIMAGA. Few purification of us going down also. And the Nexus has been killed. I'm not sure why Eiki let him take this. I think that if he has an observer in the air, he would have probably been able to take out this army. Now looking at this, there is 10 probes that have been killed here. This is actually that drop that we were talking about earlier. It did get warded off quite easily and then managed to take out 10 probes, which is pretty nice. Let's have a look at the income tab. It does look like the Zerg player is a little bit ahead. Actually, I was a bit confused there. It was actually the probes from this base that got dropped there, not the probes here, because this is of course the Zerg base. So a bit of a wrong call here. So there you go. All the lurkers have been put down. They're just there to basically prevent the Protoss army from coming in here. In the meantime, the Hydralisk will be able to take out this Nexus quite easily, just leaving a few behind and now sending his units back to his own base. So this Protoss army is quite scary right now. It's not favoring in supply, but at the same time, it is a very scary army indeed. Now these lurkers, they're just so out of position right now, just moving straight into the units. He's going to want to go back faster, and a nice purification over there. Only hits 2 units though. Almost managing to take out a big clump of Hydralisks there. And these Hydralisks slowly, one by one, running in here. This is not a good position for him to be in. DIMAGA, you need to reinforce, and I think that he really needs to get himself some roaches as well. So still only Zergling, Hydralisk and Lurker being made right now. No roaches at all. I wonder if this is some sort of new tactic that he's developed. From what I can see at the moment, it's not actually working out that great. He's left with 1 mining base. Let's have a look at the income again. Looks like he's a little bit ahead. At least his gas production is pretty healthy. Now these 2 lurkers just sitting here and damaging buildings. Not quite sure if he wants to move them maybe over here. That would be a lot more beneficial for him. And this Nexus is being built up here. The Zergling does spot it. I wonder, this Zerg would be so cool now if he managed to actually kill some units with it. No, does get surrounded by a few probes, and that is the end of that Zergling. Now a big Zergling run by here. Does get spotted pretty much straight away. Gonna get cleaned up very quickly also. Decides to run on away. Maybe we'll try to get into the base. If he tries to get into the main base, that might be of benefit to him actually. If you can take out a few production facilities instead. Does look like he's interested in taking out a few drones here. So this is actually quite huge. Taking out all of these long mining drones. So that's very, very good here. 8 of them so far. Or probes rather, not drones. There we go. We do have the observers in the air. He is aware of these lurkers. He can see them full on. He can attack them. He's just being very, very wary of them. And is he really going to let this Nexus drop again? Honestly, I don't understand. I'm not sure if this is some sort of troll game right now. But looking even at the supply count, these few units would not be able to hold off that Protoss army. Absolutely not. So honestly, I'm a little bit confused. There's a lot of lurkers. They're very, very spread out. But at the same time, I think that he has such a better army here. Look at this. Just running in here. So much damage, however, being done. And there we go. This run going down here. And Eiki GGing out of the game. And there we go. Losing all of his units. Lurkers more dangerous than I thought. But at the same time, I think that he had enough units to actually defend up against that Nexus. Now towards the end of that, you might have saw there was 34 probes in total killed. I did miss about half of those, I believe. That's a bit unfortunate. But the Nexus, I really do think that Eiki had the potential to actually defend that. He let go of 2 Nexuses like that, and it's a bit unfortunate. He did have to GG out of that, so we'll be moving on to the next game. I didn't actually check who it is, but it is DIMAGA against somebody else from the Norway side. So I'll move on to that. I'll see you guys in that game. Good luck, take care, bye bye.